The Tigers look like this evening. There's a little bit of tinkering from Nigel Adkins. He's looked to improvise on the height as Liam Ridgewell gets his first start, partnering Robbie McKenzie in the centre. If Vandrow and Irvine both play, we expect Jackson Irvine to play a more defensive midfield role because of his heading ability, with Vandrow sitting in behind Campbell, who between himself and Bowen have 24 goals, one more than the entire Rotherham United squad. Irvine leaps. He'll be an obvious threat for Rotherham tonight. And the through ball early on for Jarrod Bowen! And the first shot the Tigers have, we take. Jarrod Bowen didn't get a sniff at Pride Park, but within the first 80 seconds, he has put the Tigers in front. 16 goals for Jarrod Bowen now. And Rotherham losing it cheaply in midfield. Ajayi the culprit, Bowen with the pace, and Bowen with the finish. And could it already be a long night for Rotherham United? That is the 9th goal we've scored against the Millers in just 3 games. And Jarrod Bowen back to his best with his very first shot. It's Hull City 1, Rotherham United 0. Kingsley inside now for Irvine. That's a clever through ball. Grosicki's in the box here. Should be 2-0, and it is. Fraser Campbell congratulated by Jarrod Bowen. And it's double figures for Fraser Campbell. He got the final touch, and the Tigers double their advantage here in very casual style. This through ball was so simple, really, for Kingsley to find Grosicki, and that cross manages to get away from Rodak, who went down in slow motion there, but he couldn't stretch out enough. Fraser Campbell did get one touch, but it comes off Bowen in the end. They may have to argue that one out later. Teammates in black and amber motivating each other, and they're all being motivated by Nigel Adkins. Be delighted inside that the Tigers lead by 2-0. Rotherham trying to respond, and Marshall has to make a save. The ball had dip on it right at the end, and it was Richard Towell who gets the shot away. Little deflection off Kingsley, just changing the direction of the ball, but Marshall very much equal to it. Rotherham United look as though they're going to make a tactical change within the first half here. As Marshall clears away, Anthony Ford looks like he's going to be making his entrance into the equation here to try and stoke things up for Rotherham midfield, as Kingsley has it now for the Tigers. Looks to find Grosicki. Well defended this time by the Millers, and then a bit of a risky ball back. Viner should be gathered by Ridgewell. Into the middle for Irvine, who fancies his chances. Tries to wake up the KCOM crowd here, who may be 2-0 up. It's not the most entertaining of games. And Jackson Irvine trying to show capabilities from outside the area. 2 saves Marshall's had to make in the first half, one in the first minute, and then the ever-changing direction of the long shot by Towell, which is deflected off Kingsley. He gets around his man there. And here's Irvine. Advantage given once again by Scott Duncan, who's allowed this game to flow pretty freely. Vandrow going backwards. A little bit of a passenger, it has to be said, in this game so far. The Tigers have played the ball so often out wide. Vandrow has not really had much of an opportunity. He's in the middle now for Rotherham, though, as Volks has a shot at goal, and he gets a very sweet connection. So this is a great opportunity for Volks, who had a bit of space, and you can see there the ball didn't even spin in the air. He hit it so sweet. Henriksen's header. Viner. That's a clever ball down the line. Now Taylor with his first involvement. Gets inside the penalty area, puts the ball across. Marshall has made an awful error, and Rotherham United do have a goal back. 3 minutes into the second half. We mentioned how Ford didn't have any involvement in the first half, but Marshall has made an error and Rotherham United have a goal. And that really was a surprise. John Taylor getting into the box. Marshall should be doing much, much better. Had a bit of pace on it. Maybe Marshall thought it was going to come in slower. But underneath David Marshall, and it's a tap-in for Ford. All you can hear at the moment is the Rotherham fans chanting, as a long throw could be delivered here by Volks. Looking for options as he launches it in. There is a flick on. Comes out to the edge of the area for Taylor. Taylor will get a shot away, and Rotherham are level. Deflection past Marshall. Can you believe this? Rotherham United most certainly won't be able to believe this, but the Tigers fans left silenced after 10 extraordinary second half minutes. Smiles for the Rotherham fans, confusion inside the penalty area. Taylor getting the shot away, Irvine didn't header, and a deflection past Marshall. And a calamity in the opening 10 second half minutes here. And the question maybe there is that a high foot potentially? As Mackenzie's touch steers the ball away from Marshall. Volks' long throw may cause problems again. Giving the ball a good try before launching this one. In it comes. And it's glancing, and Marshall is called upon again as Robertson's header was dipping just below the crossbar. Henriksen ball watching, so too was Kingsley. Marshall thankfully did watch the ball, so he could tip it over the bar. Could it get worse? Robertson, and again Marshall has to tip over. Robertson again, this time managing to step away from Irvine. Not jumping, and that's why Robertson was given the opportunity, and Marshall again having to pat the ball over. Again, we await this long throw-in. All Rotherham in this second half. What's going to happen from this long throw-in? That time it will just drop through towards Marshall. The Tigers have got a man down inside the penalty area, but forward it goes towards Grzycki, who has a shot at goal and tries to ignite the Tigers into life. And Rudak has to make a good stop. And will that wake the Tigers in this second half? Grzycki here judging it to perfection, but it was well maintained goalkeeping there by Rudak in this completely different tactical game where Rotherham United have tried to play through the air. Ridgewell not really dealing that one sufficiently. Now Smith to the edge of the area, the shot comes in, and Will Volks makes a real mess of that opportunity. A touch of composure, and maybe having a think about this, you could be looking at 3-2 to Rotherham United. Little through ball. Could he maybe have taken a step to his right hand side? Rotherham in a tight area, lose possession. Bowen needs to find the man in the middle in Milinkovic. Back to Bowen, and now Irvine. Martin in front of him. Milinkovic wants to join in as well. In comes the cross. Irvine! That was the chance. He almost had the chance to give the Tigers a winning goal like he did at the New York Stadium. But it's off target. By far and away the best chance of the second half for the Tigers, not taken advantage of.